Low self-worth rarely begins with a conscious decision to dislike yourself. It often develops gradually through experiences that teach the mind that personal value is conditional. Repeated criticism, rejection, comparison, neglect, humiliation, failure, emotional inconsistency, or environments where achievement determines acceptance can slowly create the belief that worth must be earned. A person may begin measuring themselves through appearance, intelligence, income, success, usefulness, popularity, relationships, or other people's approval. When these external measurements become the foundation of identity, self-worth becomes unstable. Success produces temporary confidence, while failure creates disproportionate shame. Praise feels powerful because it briefly confirms value, but criticism feels devastating because it threatens the entire self-image. The person may become excessively modest, constantly apologize, minimize achievements, tolerate poor treatment, or avoid opportunities because they unconsciously believe that people with greater value deserve better circumstances. Low self-worth can also hide behind perfectionism and overachievement. The person may appear extremely ambitious while privately believing that nothing they accomplish will ever be enough. Every achievement becomes another attempt to prove worth rather than an experience to enjoy. Comparison intensifies the problem because the mind selectively notices people who appear more attractive, successful, confident, wealthy, connected, or accomplished. Instead of recognizing differences as normal, the insecure mind interprets them as evidence of personal deficiency. Over time, the individual may stop asking what they genuinely want and begin organizing life around proving that they deserve respect. The hidden roots of low self-worth often lie in the belief that human value must be constantly demonstrated. The person may understand intellectually that everyone has inherent worth while emotionally continuing to feel that they must earn belonging through performance. This creates an exhausting internal negotiation in which every achievement becomes temporary evidence and every mistake becomes potential disqualification. Relationships can become particularly difficult because the person may accept disrespect simply because they believe they should be grateful for whatever affection they receive. They may struggle to establish boundaries because saying no feels selfish or dangerous. They may remain in situations that diminish them because leaving requires believing they deserve something better. Healing begins by separating worth from performance. You can improve without believing you are defective. You can make mistakes without becoming a failure. You can experience rejection without concluding that you are unlovable. You can admire another person's strengths without treating their existence as evidence against your own value. Self-worth becomes stronger when it is built through self-respect rather than external approval. This means recognizing personal needs, honoring boundaries, keeping promises to yourself, developing competence, accepting imperfections, and choosing relationships that do not require constant self-abandonment. The deepest transformation occurs when a person stops treating worth as a reward that must be earned and begins treating it as a foundation from which growth becomes possible. You do not become worthy after achieving enough. You pursue meaningful goals because you already possess value. You do not need to become flawless before deserving respect. You need to learn how to respect yourself while remaining imperfect. Low self-worth loses its power when the mind stops asking whether it is good enough to deserve a meaningful life and begins asking what kind of life genuinely reflects its values. At that point, growth is no longer an attempt to prove existence. It becomes an expression of it.